All right, good evening, everyone. We're going to call the Raynham Conservation Commission meeting of May 5th, 2017 to order at 5:34 p.m. Has everyone had a chance to review the minutes?
Excuse me, Mr. Chairman, May 3rd?
What did I say?
Second.
Is it May 3rd or 5th?
It is the 3rd.
Oh, God, yeah, that's wrong.
Correction of May 3rd, 2017 at 5:34 p.m. Has everybody had a chance to review the minutes?
I second.
All right, we got a motion and a second to approve the minutes. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None. Ayes have it.
No bills.
No bills, except for the one down there.
This
Everybody's a comedian.
It never gets old. It never gets old. Okay. Correspondence. We have one from for Raynham Conservation Commission regarding Lot 1 Richmond Street. Please accept request to be placed on the next agenda to discuss erosion control at Lot 1 Richmond Street. So, Azu?
Yeah, Mr. Andrunas and I called and I asked about modifying the erosion control barrier, and I told him, I said it's not something that we can just change out in the field because it's part of our approved plan. So he can come and explain what was approved and what he wants to do, and then the commission can take it from there.
Okay. All right. So should we discuss that right now, Gail, or should we move that into informal, or?
Well, it's part of the incoming correspondence.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good evening, Alan Bruce. All I was trying to do is change, right now, silt fence and hay bale. I just wanted to change it to silt fence and straw wattle. Just a little more practical for us work-wise, and it seems to be working pretty effective in all the other jobs we're doing. And some people like it better because there's no invasives in the wattles versus the hay bales. Just, that's the only change we wanted to make.
Do you have any concerns with hay bales to a wattle instead?
Well, no, actually, we've been allowing straw wattles. In this particular case, if you remember, there's a small section of wetlands that they're filling.
Right.
So that's why we wanted both of them. So as long as we still have the silt fence with the wattles bordered against it, that will be fine. The wattles on the upland side.
Okay.
What's the slope?
Oh, it's flat out there.
Flat?
Yeah, it's all flat.
That's the only concern we have.
Yeah, I had looked at the
And
plan.
they'll be staked in place just like we would stake the hay bale, same thing.
Do any of the commissioners have any questions?
No, it
sounds good. All right, do we need to make that?
Yeah, but that's a minor modification that does not require an amended, and then I just like reflect that on the record minutes.
Okay, so I will entertain a motion for a minor modification for the erosion control from hay bales to straw wattle.
So
All right, any discussion? All in favor? All right, opposed? Ayes have it.
Thank you.
Since I put it so gracefully, you guys just ate that right up. All right. Okay, this is from Ed Brennan. It says, Gail, this is order conditions for the site dated November 2nd, 2011. The plan was never approved by the planning board and no work was started. Also, I didn't see an order conditions recorded or in the registry of deed. The property is currently being sold as a single-family home. Is being proposed. No NOI will be, a new NOI will be filed soon. This is for Bridge Street. Looks like SE 269-0870.
If you look in the last page, he has a formal letter there, Mr. Chairman, that he just sent to me today.
So,
why do we need to vacate the CMC? So we can sell it?
I think that's what it sounds like. I'm sorry, Gail, is this because the property is currently being, it was never worked on, it's being resold?
Yes, I think that's.
And there's an open order conditions on it.
The order of conditions that the commission did issue was for subdivision. I think it was 5-lot subdivision.
Mhm.
Can't hear me. It was for a 5-lot subdivision. We did issue an order of conditions. I have no record of recording of an order of conditions, but I'll leave the rest to Sue.
So they did not record that was the one that they I guess they got into financial problems, and that project never moved forward. But I think we'll probably, I suggest that you not act on this tonight, so we can look at it a little bit more, and then advise the commission properly.
Okay, where do we have to look? I mean,
File.
Files downstairs?
Our files
It doesn't
downstairs.
sound like it was recorded.
But if it wasn't recorded, then there's nothing for us to do.
No, it still happened though.
We still,
It still happened. It's an outstanding order, although it's expired too, because they never renewed it. 3 years is come and gone.
But it was
It was done in 2011, so it's really not on the records, if you will.
But if there's no...
If no work commenced and it expired, then
There's
Right.
nothing for us to do,
Right,
just
and
let it go.
And it's not recorded, so it's not like they wanna get it off the record from the registry of deeds. Okay, but I probably wanna look at it to make sure that they're saying it was not recorded, but we wanna see that. Yeah, but I will not go the route of revoking.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Is this going to hold up a new homeowner trying to purchase their home?
that, I don't know. I do know that,
If it wasn't filed.
I do know that the plan that they did, it's gonna hold them up anyways, because the building permit that they gave to the, for me to have you sign, there was not a plan. There was no definite plan. That was the one that had no wetlands on it, nothing.
Okay.
So they're definitely gonna have to do a notice
All
of
right, so
that.
if we wait for the next 2 weeks to check this out a little bit better, then maybe it'll give them more time to get their other stuff in order too, okay? All right. So we don't have to do anything with this till, Azu looks at it a little bit better. Okay. Okay, we can discuss real quickly the site visits. I know, Bill, you had one
Yes.
that came up, if you'd like to discuss that.
Get my notes. The citizen questioned some work that was being done at 604 South Main Street, whether they were infringing on wetlands and et cetera, indicating that there was some heavy equipment out there, et cetera. I did a site visit. There was no heavy equipment. There was a small backhoe moving some debris around, and there was a wood chipper, and they were taking down some trees that were bordering the vegetated wetland, okay? There were about two or three trees that were pretty large that actually fell into the wetland when they cut them, and they were going in to take the stuff out. So there wasn't any infringement on the wetlands. I didn't see any issue there. Did ask them if they were going into the wetland, BVW, to remove the trees, that they do so by hand, not bring any equipment in there to do that. And that if they want to do additional work, they would need to file and come before us to get permission to do anything in addition to that. So I left it with the homeowner there, gave him conservation number and a contact, and if he moves forward, he'll contact us. I didn't think it warranted a cease and desist or anything like that at this point. Since it wasn't a lot of work, it was just some trees that they were taking down. That was the house that was right around the corner here that had a fire.
Yeah.
And
We have,
it was a lot of debris in the back, and there was some trees that they wanted to remove when they were rebuilding the house.
Thank you for that report. Any commissioners have any questions about that? All right. Seeing none, we will go right into formal. Mr. Dooley, can you read us in,
yes, I
please?
will.
As May
All
3rd.
public hearings and meetings, excuse me?
As May 3rd.
Yes, I already made that
There's two
correction.
things wrong here.
All public hearings and meetings heard by the Raynham Conservation Commission on Wednesday, May 3rd, 2017, at 5:30 PM in the Raynham Veterans Memorial Town Hall, Donald L. McKinnon, Meeting Room, 558 South Main Street, Raynham, Mass., are relative to findings and joint hearings and/or meetings under Mass General General Laws, Chapter 131, Section 40, as amended in the Town of Raynham Wetland Protection Bylaw.
All right, first one on the list, the continued notice of intent, 1,000 New State Highway and 0 Judson Street, map 15, parcels 148B and 121A, North Light Realty Trust.
Mr. Chairman, Buzz Artiano for Northlight Realty Trust. At the last hearing we met, we were essentially ready to close out the order conditions and issue the order. We're waiting for the planning board. We did meet with the planning board the following night after our meeting. I got a 4-0 approval, 1 abstention, as 1 member was not present for all the hearings. So that project is approved by the planning board as submitted to this board. No changes to the BVW line, no changes to any of the encroachments, no changes to the entrance. They did require us to make a small change on the rear portion where it met the abutters. They wanted me to give a little more separation, so we removed some parking spots and added more landscaping, but none of that is in the BVW area.
Azu, you good?
If you recall, the reason they left the meeting open was for specifically in case there was any change with the planning board. And the engineer, Mr. Gagny, submitted an itemized description of the changes that they made, and those changes were really benign, if you will. And at the time, the commission had requested that we draft an order so that you could close the hearing tonight, and where there's no real change to the plan, and they've provided an enumerated discussion in a written form of the changes that we are undertaking. At this point, the meeting should be closed, the hearing should be closed, and we did draft an order for the commission.
Any of the commissioners have any final questions, comments?
No, everything seems to be in order. Excuse me.
A motion to close the hearing.
Let me ask the applicant.
Okay,
Are you
I'm
willing-
sorry.
Are you requesting to close the hearing?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
All right. I'll entertain the motion to close the hearing.
Motion to close the hearing, 1,000 New State Highway, 0 Judson Street, map 15, parcels 14B and 121A, North Light Realty Trust.
Right, we have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Ayes have it.
I'll also entertain a motion to issue the order conditions.
We'll make that motion. Yeah.
So we have a motion
Yeah.
to issue order conditions.
Second.
Second, any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
We just sign it, right? We don't have to initial-
There's no initials. Wow, that's heavy.
And that's it for that. There's the appeal process, and then you'll have that ready for them.
I'm going to be working on this tomorrow and Friday, and then I'll mail it out. Oh, you want it mailed out?
Yeah, if you could actually just scan me an order of the conditions.
That's way too big to scan it out. I will, I'll try to get it out by the weekend.
Yeah, I did, okay.
Okay?
Yep.
All right. Okay.
All right, notice of intent, 57 South Street East, map 17, parcel 147, Glenn Thompson.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good night.
Thank you.
You also.
We have the green
I
card?
got the green card, yes, he's already given them to me, thank you.
Okay, so this is the on the top right? Okay, top right.
I saw the point. I read it. Okay. In accordance with Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 131, Section 40, and the Town of Raynham Local Bylaw, the Raynham Conservation Commission will hold a public hearing on Wednesday, May 3rd, 2017, at 5:30 PM in the Donald L. McKinnon Meeting Room in the Raynham Veterans Memorial Town Hall at 558 South Main Street, Raynham, Mass., on a notice of intent filed by Thompson Properties LLC, 175 Daniels Island Road, Mashpee. The applicant proposes to construct a single-family house that would be located 75.6 feet from bordering vegetated wetland. The applicant also requires review and approval of a delineated vegetated wetland line and associated resource areas. The property is owned by Edward and June Macknick, 75 Mill Street, Apartment 2D, and is located at 57 South Street East, Map 17, Parcel 147.
Good evening. Hi, Larry Silva from Silva Engineering Associates, offices at 1615 Bedford Street in Bridgewater. Mr. Thompson is with me this evening. So this is a property adjacent to those single-family houses that were done by, Bamilla had done a couple. That's where the old, what was the old bar that was, is that what it was, right? And so this is the old house that was adjacent to that. That house was taken down, and the replacement house is actually forward of where that one was. So this is actually further away from where the wetlands were. I would love to know what was on the other property, because there's a really old foundation there that I'm not sure what it was, but it must go way back. And that's to the right of it. It's a wooded area. Go heading down towards the river. But this here is, like I say, it's further back. It's on sewer, so municipal sewer and water. And pretty much not a lot of grading involved and not a lot of changes. Basically an improvement for that site, certainly as compared to the old house that used to be there.
Is this site after the new houses that were built after the Joe T's between the new houses?
It's immediately to the right of the last house.
The last house before the Taunton River, before the
Yes.
river, okay.
Yes.
There's a house set back.
There was an old house that was sitting there. It was kind of a really bad shape before, yeah.
Haunted house.
There's a lot of culvert work in the back of that property, too. We've been out there.
And there's a sewer easement to the right side here that comes in
Yeah.
off the road.
Yeah, just way into the back of the property.
Yeah.
There's a culvert. Okay.
So have you had a chance to review the plans?
Yeah, and I don't want to be looking at Southeast Street anymore.
Well, we're almost done. There's no more lots left.
Fake ones, yeah. So, I mean, it's pretty straightforward. You don't have a disposal works permit in terms of on-site wastewater disposal. So that really would have been the real issue. So.
Mr. Chairman, the only thing I have to say is I do not have a DEP file number yet. I've
So
not
you
been
can't,
noticed, so we
can't close it really.
Can't close it tonight yet.
The Commissioners have anything? Any questions, comments?
Now, see, the wetland line is here, and there's an easement here, and to the right, there's another easement that was collapsed and had to be filled in, remember that?
I don't know, you working, yeah,
Yeah.
with the other houses, right?
Mr. Silva, on the map, it says storage container.
What storage container is that? On the bottom, on the,
About in the middle of the design, then, on the bottom.
like van or something.
is that something that's there currently?
Yeah.
That was there with the property?
Yeah.
You don't know what type of storage container is it?
No, it's.
He's afraid to open it.
Oh, so it's like,
Van body.
oh, all right. So when you meant store, I didn't know if there was something, like if it was a storage container, if it was like a tractor-trailer container, or if it was, you know, a water container for storage, for rainwater. Okay.
Yeah, it's quite a ways in from the wetland.
There was actually a file number issued.
I haven't received anything yet. I didn't get any notification of it. And I usually get them by email. See, I didn't get that at all. And I don't usually check them because I always get them in an email, so.
425.
That's interesting.
Almost a square.
Yeah.
Got a file number?
Okay. Do you have another copy of this one or not?
No, I don't want to have it, just thinking my copy.
Oh, you printed it out, so you can print it out again, right? It's on the email.
Yeah, I can do that.
Right, so we'll keep that. Yeah, so we'll keep that.
Save on town.
Yeah, just write down that number. What was that number?
269-0938.
If you have any questions. This is
38.
east to the right of the old Joe Cheese, the little
It's weird,
property.
'cause I always get 'em.
The residence is over here.
Well, they
This
just
is that
look
last
at
vacant
the
house,
name,
and
but
then
then
the
she's-
front river over here.
Oh, okay. Oh, I hope I
So
don't
they
start
tore
losing
down
them.
the old house, and this is the proposed new house.
Cause she, you know, she emailed, cause usually too, they will say copy.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm gonna have to get in touch.
It was filled before. It was already filled. I don't know when that was taken down. Was it taken down?
There was a butter way up here that had a big issue with this.
2 years ago now, as I recall.
25-foot no touch. There used to be a barrier on here.
Yeah. That stays. What are we doing?
What do we do for the area?
We're using trucks to do post rail fence to 25 foot.
You don't know what just VAC or state stakes too.
No, I think
Yeah, one with no touch. Do we allow just modules with PVC piping too?
No, we did that for Tomlin Estates. And that was just at the 100 foot, so they didn't go back in there and have to file. Generally on those, they have to file.
Yeah, as long as nobody don't come back there. It's fine. And Mr. Chairman, the only reason why we really, I'm glad that we have that file number is because it's a modular that's going in there, and in order to make the commitment, everything has to be sort of in place. So,
Is the back already graded? I haven't been up this site.
the lot to the left is terraced up a little bit, which is, we're going to be tying into basically those grades to the left. It's pretty much at the site, at the flat kind of site that it was before. But there was, groundwater was pretty shallow, so that's why we had to keep it up quite a bit.
Is the 25-foot no touch and the wetland line, is that woods right now, or is that lawn area, is that?
It's pretty much
is it a field?
revegetated woods, because remember, there was a sewer line that had come
Yeah.
through here before and so forth. So it's a more newer growth that's in that area.
Yeah, the only concern I would have is at the 25-foot, at the 25-foot line, the no touch, is that you install a fence, a post and rail fence like we've been doing with all the other applicants that are that close to the no touch, and that things don't get dumped into that 25-foot no touch.
Is that something we can handle as a condition?
Yeah, oh, absolutely,
Yeah.
yeah, it doesn't have to be annotated at the plan, it's just to prevent debris, someday if,
Just with signage.
yeah, because that way if someday.
Yeah, there's, because
Yeah, so-
we did that on the other sites.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah, so
Yes,
that's,
yeah.
yep. So that's the only thing that I would see, just to prevent anything from going into that 25-foot
Yep.
no-touch zone. That way, if the house ever gets sold someday, if there's a barrier there, you
Yep.
tend not to go past the barrier. If there's no barrier, then you'll keep going as far as you can go, so. That's the only thing that I would put in as a special condition, is the post and rail fence, the 25-foot no-touch. Yeah. Commissioners have any questions?
Azu, you're good that we have the file number now?
Yes, sir. So we may close the hearing, and they have 21 days to issue a decision, so likely you'll can act on it next meeting.
Okay, so we can close at this meeting?
Oh, yeah.
If they want to close, if they're ready to close.
If they're ready to close.
Was that? Yeah. And you're, okay, you're also the file number?
I'm all set with the file number. I'll check that one out tomorrow. Like I said, I didn't get that one.
All right, is there anyone here in the audience that has any questions? Are you here for this, sir? No?
I'm here looking for O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Oh, I'm sorry, they aren't here. I
I
apologize.
get a certified letter that's supposed to be.
And they did not advertise in time.
Yep,
I'm
also saying
so
right here.
sorry.
Oh, come on, we're nice people. This is how town government works.
Hopefully they will be at the next meeting. Just call the office and I will turn around and let you know if they're going to be here or not.
There you go.
Okay?
See you later.
Great, any commissioners have any other questions, comments, concerns before we ask the applicant if they want to close the hearing? Okay, would you like to close the hearing?
Yes, we would.
All right, so I'll entertain a motion to close the hearing.
Motion to close hearing for 57 South Street East, map 17, partial 147, Glenn Thompson.
Second. All right, got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
All right, thank you very much.
Opposed, and we'll vote to issue at the next meeting.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. So you can come to the next meeting, pick that up. Yeah. All right. Thank you.
This last one was continued, right?
Yes, but I want to read it and just, I got it all written notes.
You have to read this.
Read the
All right, continued notice of intent. Meadow Drive, map 17, parcel 82, 82-1, 82-2, 84-A, and 86, Douglas King Builders. We have correspondence that the applicant is looking to continue the hearing. On behalf of Doug King Builders, we authorize Raynham Conservation Commission to continue the notice of intent public hearing for Riverview Meadows DEP File SC 269-0935 to May 17th, 2017. I will entertain a motion to continue to May 17th.
Motion.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. All right, any other informal? Is there any other informal? We good, Gail?
We're good.
All right, I'll entertain that final last motion, unless Bill has something.
I had something.
Just didn't speak up.
Well, I didn't get to me
That's all right.
yet. Okay.
All right, we're in informal, go ahead.
I did distribute via email to everyone the updated conservation permitting process abutter guide. Okay. Based on the input we received, made those adjustments and corrections, and want to move forward to suggest that we publish this and give it out. One, put it on the website, and two, give it to the abutters as needed. Any other concerns, questions? And nobody's read it, right?
Oh, I looked at it.
I did.
Yes.
The only thing I would say is, there's the section on when we receive comments, and it talks about receiving comments by email
Right.
during a meeting.
Okay.
So we need to clarify that section to make sure that they understand that an email comment that they send during a meeting is not going to get heard if that closes, so.
Well, we had our laptops like we talked about.
Yeah,
But we should, I'm wondering if we should also have like a time limit on emails to be presented at the meeting?
That's what I was
You
thinking,
know,
like,
I mean,
is it 5 o'clock, or is it 4 o'clock, or is it 3 o'clock?
2 days before.
If you're gonna post a hearing, if you're gonna post a meeting 48 hours before the meeting night, then you should receive correspondences at least 48 hours before.
I agree with
And an email will be also a correspondence.
So you would consider email correspondence, so it has to be
48 hours.
48 hours
Right.
prior to the hearing,
Yeah.
to be included in the
Right.
hearing for discussion purposes.
That's a good point that I
Yeah.
glossed over myself when I read it.
Do we include the hearing date?
We can, and,
So it'd be
we're
Monday,
gonna talk about it.
Tuesday.
I didn't
Monday,
know
Monday.
we were involved with that, so.
48 hours by noon, 48 hours prior to, by noon of the preceding, of the 2 days preceding the hearing. 48 business hours.
48 hours?
So
or
the 2 business
48
days.
2 business
2
days.
business, I probably should say 2 business days as opposed to 48 hours.
Right, okay.
Because technically you can get about 48 hours
Because they
at
can send
5:30
it,
PM, yeah.
they could, especially with email, they can
Yeah.
send it anytime they
Yeah.
want, as
So
opposed
2
to
business days.
correspondence via
Right,
mail.
Right.
Right, so I'll change that to 2 business days prior to be considered during the hearing, okay? Okay, I'll make that adjustment. And there was also a discussion about a disclaimer. There is a disclaimer in the first paragraph. Do you feel that that's sufficient?
I will give you probably like a red font, you know, put a red font with a box around it.
Okay,
That's the only thing I had mentioned the last time. Put it like in a little box, you know, so that it's
Stands up, it stands out.
yeah.
yeah, it states that it's not to be intended as a legal guide, so what I can do is
Right,
highlight that.
Right. Well, see, I will pull it out from the body of the document
Okay,
and put it like, you know, how you do a header and make it like a footer.
Okay.
In a box, use a raised red font.
So
what font should I use, sir?
Really big.
like stencil.
18 character, you know, the 18 font size
Still won't
as
see it.
opposed to 12 point. Use that 18 point.
Still won't see it.
I'll figure it out.
No, they will see, they just don't, they just
Use your
ignore
best
it.
judgment.
All right, so I'll make those adjustments and redistribute, okay?
Well,
One last thing, in other informal business, we did meet, for the rest of the commissioners that were not there, we did meet with the state about King Philip Street, Borden Colony properties, and there was a lot of back and forth on who it belongs to, what it's deemed for, and I think there's still a lot of information, fact-finding, that still needs to be
I
done.
don't think we really got good answers.
Yeah, there really was a lot of headway made. It was a good conversation, started. If I'm skipping anything, Bill or Dave, if you guys want to chime in.
I mean, the state's promoting as farming, so they don't seem to be concerned about the wet areas that we were talking about. So my comment was, well, then why are we the stewards of the property if we don't have a little better of a say?
else to give it to.
Yeah.
And I,
So-
and,
didn't step
yeah.
backwards for
yeah.
What other organization within the town would handle something like that?
Yeah, and I brought up to them, well, if it's agricultural, then let's find a way. It sounds like the reason it's wet is because the old tile system underneath for water irrigation back in whenever that was established, late 1800s. Sounds like there's a lot of broken pipes under there. So water is not draining from the farm field as it used to,
Turned it into a
which has
wetland.
turned into land that is now wet.
It's not a wetland.
It's not a wetland, it's land that is now wet,
Yeah, there
because
there is
it's, but,
precedent for that in
Yeah.
the law, that if it's so many years, then it's been.
It's no different than some of the arguments we have here. You know, a detention area that got overgrown and never
Exactly.
maintained
Becomes a wetland.
becomes a wetland.
That's
as opposed
correct.
to-
not anymore, that was prior, after
Yeah.
2008, drainage, anything that you create as a drainage basin for stormwater management, it's not considered a resource. Now, if you have a cranberry bog that you created, even if it was an upland cranberry bog, that remains of fallow and not producing, let fallow or dormant, that's the word I'm looking for, dormant for 5 consecutive years, then that'll be a protectable resource.
And
Is it?
It's
we are
pretty
possible-
simple.
Because usually cranberry bogs get bug into groundwater.
Right.
So
Right, because
groundwater.
they need the water.
That's right, like groundwater is one of the statutory interests of the Wetlands Protection Act.
It's pretty easy to keep those in as cranberry bogs. All you have to do is show that you've done any type of maintenance.
Right. But I'm just saying.
Even cutting down vegetation
Right.
would constitute maintenance of a bog, so
Right.
it doesn't get removed from farmland because of that.
But these were clay,
Well, the purpose of the tiles was to take any wet that was on the fields,
to make it useful.
make it to it, well, not just to make it useful, but to take and drain the water to one central location so that the majority of the fields could be farmed.
And becomes irrigation as well. Could be used for
So,
irrigation.
yeah, a lot of them had, pits that they would drain all the water into so they could use it as irrigation. So it didn't drain the fields, it just kind of directed where the water was going to go.
And the issue is those tiles in that area are broken, so water's not leaving that area, and it's pooling up,
So it
so
would cost a fortune to
But I
to
thought,
repair it.
but I thought that the state was going to look at funding.
they were gonna, they said they.
To do that, to
They
see if
left
they
it with
could
us, that they were
repair
gonna
that.
look into some grants and see if we were applicable
It's
to
just-
any grants, and it may not pan out to anything, but the ball's in their court right now, but they do wanna leave it as agriculture, and my thought to them was, I understand, so let's get the water out of there, and whatever is inhabiting that area will no longer wanna inhabit that area, because it's no longer wet, and they'll go to the outskirts. The problem is getting the water out of there, and it's gonna cost money. And no tenant that's using the fields currently is gonna wanna put that money out
Right.
to fix the tile system for a field that they lease.
Do we have a copy on file of the original agreement
Yes,
when that land came over?
there is somewhere in the office.
I'll have to look for it.
Yeah. There should be a whole folder on
I'm
board.
just curious about the wording as
But
you brought up.
unfortunately,
How
our
did we,
previous conservation agent did a lot of distribution of files from the office to other departments, so gonna have to look for it.
Okay.
Gotcha.
But the purpose of the meeting was to address whether we could mow on
Which to me
certain
is a
times
very
of year.
simple fix.
Right.
Mow it once a year, in the
Right.
fall, late fall.
But we didn't get a resolution
No.
on that.
They were going to talk to one of their specialists
And hopefully they'll get back to us.
and get back to us fairly soon, because they were gonna talk to one of their specialists to see about, there was a lot of issues with weed, and, is that gonna affect the hay,
the haying
the
that's there,
weed
right.
seed, the ragweed, gonna go into the hay area, and then once it goes into the hay area, now the hay can't be used as feed hay, can only be used as like hay bale hay almost. So there's a lot of give and take. So the ball's currently in their court, and we'll wait to hear back on whatever they decide. So that is a report of the Board Conley meeting.
Motion to adjourn.
Who's going to follow up on that?
We'll give them a month, and then we'll give them a call, and I know, Park and Rec is,
There's going to be some change in management there.
That's gonna be the problem over there is,
who's gonna follow up? Is it gonna fall through the
Yeah.
cracks?
so.
So we'll have to follow up in about a month after.
they haven't hired anybody yet for that, have they?
No.
Haven't seen any.
So we'll do a follow-up call over there about a month after the original meeting, and remind them that we did have a meeting, to see where we stand. All right, I'll entertain one final motion.
It was made.
Oh, motion to adjourn, is there a second?
Seconded.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.